You probably know about the JCB 2TS, the baby teleskid, and you more than likely know about the middle-sized teleskid, the 3TS. You heard that right, the middle-sized machine. That's because there is a 4TS teleskid. Yes, it does exist and it is coming soon. I've got some details and some specs on this machine. We're going to dive into it right now. I'm Bobby J. Welcome back to my channel. Now, I'm not going to pull a YouTube classic on you and make you wait all the way till the ending to get the information that you want. We're going to jump right into it. The 4TS, it's being tested right now to get the bugs worked out of it, and it's coming to your local JCB dealer soon. Now, some specs, the goodies on this, what everybody wants to know. 4TS, not guaranteed, but what we think it's going to be. It's supposed to be 109 horsepower. Same 4.4 liter EcoMax that's found in the 3TS, the 270. JCB uses that 4.4 liter in all kinds of their equipment. It's a good engine. It runs well. And in some stationary engine applications, the 4.4 makes as much as 160 horsepower. So 109 horsepower is not really breaking a whole lot of sweat for this engine, and definitely 74 horse, that's the throttle cracked halfway open. So 109 horsepower. Now the torque has been the big thing with the 4.4. It's what allows the 3TS to try to compete with the 100 horse machines. 300 foot-pounds of torque at 74 horsepower. I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say this is going to be approximately a 400 foot-pound torque machine. That's big numbers. That is a lot of torque in a skid steer. I mean, we're talking not far off of lamb track torque. Now, next spec. 40 to 45 gallons on the high flow. And man, I hope that they push closer to that 45 spec. But we'll see what happens there. Now, it is definitely going to be heavier than the 3TS. The 3TS is already a heavy machine. It is way heavier than any other 74 horse machine. It is, in fact, it's in the category of 100 plus horsepower machines already at a hefty 12.3. So we're talking probably somewhere between the 13,500 and 15,000 pound range is what this 4TS is going to weigh. It's going to be 6 to 8 inches wider. I believe it's going to have the same tracks. And a big thing, the reach. It is supposedly going to be able to reach even further and higher than the 3TS. Now, the 3TS already can go further and higher than the 2TS. Hopefully the same jump from the 4TS, we'll see that same jump from the 3TS to the 4TS. But that, we don't know quite what those exact numbers are going to be. Now, just to recap, this machine is going to be 109 horsepower. It will be, unfortunately, full emissions. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on the federal level right now, guys, talking about, actually going backwards with emission stuff. I highly doubt we are going to see a machine without DEF from the factory, at least anytime in the near future. So it more than likely will have DEF. It will probably have a DPF, whatever you see on the current higher horsepower JCB equipment. That is probably what you will see. Again, to finish recap, we're looking 40-45 gallons on the high flow. Would be a huge improvement. Definitely there's some lack there on the 3TS. And it's going to be a physically larger machine. So this thing's going to pack a punch. If you're doing dirt work, this thing's going to pack a punch. It's going to be a big monster. Even more reach, man, that's going to be pretty cool. Now let's talk a little bit about the 3TS. This is a 23, so this is the latest revision, the newest of the 3TSs, and some things that I personally hope carries over into the 4TS. One of the things is the simple undercarriage. I like the simplicity. Yes, maybe it doesn't ride as good as some of the other machines that have fancier stuff, but you know what? This is the cheapest undercarriage to maintain. I hope that they continue something very similar to this and don't try to, just keep it simple when it comes to their undercarriage. That personally, I'm a big fan of. The other thing is the cooling capacity on the JCB. Now, I haven't ran a lot of different skid steers, but I've heard some guys complaining about temperature issues with some machines. Machines that cool really good. Takeuchi brand is one. Supposedly those guys can mulch all day long and not have to run external coolers and whatnot. I've experienced the same thing. Running this FAE mulching head, running all day, I stay cool. Even on a 100-degree day, I can get up there 170, 175 degrees tops. 80-degree day, I'm 150 degrees. So I would say I hope that they continue with an adequate cooling package. This machine does fantastic on staying cool. So I hope that that carries over to the new 4TS, is that cooling performance with the upgraded hydraulics and horsepower. The big lifting capacity, that's one thing you would think, is this is a small appearing machine compared to some other machines that are 100 plus horsepower, but it weighs 12.3. It picks up 3,700 pounds is its ROC at 35%. That outperforms a lot of 100 horse machines. So I hope that we see that can also continue. The lifting performance that JCB delivers with this machine, we see that in the 4TS. I hope we see 4,500 pound ROCs out of the 4TS, and I would be surprised if we don't. Now, moving over to the negatives of the 3TS, there's a couple of big issues I have. One thing is the hydraulics, the high flow. These are the same half-inch fittings for both the standard and the high flow. That was probably a big mistake. You know, I had the chance here. We were just on a big mulching job, and I ran side by side with a Takeuchi TL12 with the larger UML. This is the DML. This is a 74 horse rated head. The UML is for your 100 plus horse machines with 40 gallons. And to be honest with you, the Takeuchi could run circles around me. I mean, he was mulching at least twice as much as I would say. Now, it wasn't necessarily a completely fair advantage due to the fact that there were some upgrades on the Takeuchi. One thing is the Stucci couplers is what they're running on that. It's reading up on them. They're really supposed to help with flow. And in fact, I may consider them when these guys start leaking to go ahead and go with maybe the Stucci's on this to see if that helps out a little bit. I think this is a serious choke point on the 3TS. It's supposed to deliver 33 gallons at 3,300 PSI, but there was a huge difference between this and the Talk on hydraulic performance or just all out mulching performance, period. Larger head, of course, that makes a difference. Bigger rotor in the head, you got more weight, it's larger diameter, bigger teeth, you're going to get more out of it, right? But you have to have the hydraulics, though, too, to run that larger diameter rotor. The other thing is, I do not run knives. I have carbides from one end across to the other. He was running knives. Those are, that's a nice little upgrade to get through some pretty big wood. So I would definitely say JCB better come out strong on this 4TS when it comes to the hydraulics, because they need to run with some big machines. They need to really compete on that category if they want to get serious on the hydraulics. The other thing is the HVAC system in the 3TS. Hopefully they make some improvements. The unit is down here on the right hand side of the floorboard. And its filter design out here sucks. It's a pain in the butt to service the air filter in the 3TS. I hate it. I've actually made some modifications to the recirculation in the cab to try to make things a little bit better. Have I made it better? Maybe, maybe not. But the problem is dirt accumulation because the evaporator and the heater core are on the floor. Dirt accumulation, trying to keep the evap and the heater core clean is an issue with this machine. So I would definitely like to see some improvements on the HVAC system, make that more reliable for us. Now, if JCB follows suit with what they did with the 3TS, with this new 4TS, what we're gonna see performance compared to other 110 horsepower machines, but because of the physical size, we're looking at competition for the big huge case 620. I don't know about the Minotaur 550. That thing is a monster category all on its own. That thing's a monster. But we're gonna see dirt work pushing capabilities close to something like the 620. And then as far as the hydraulics, what is JCB's competition? Well, some new models. We got older machines that are probably due for updates. We won't go into different brands on that. But Cat is probably the big chatter right now with their 285. We're talking a 13,600 pound rated machine. Obviously, this 4TS is going to be all of that weight rating and then some. You're talking high flow on that new Caterpillar is 40 plus gallons. Now, what the Cat's got going on is 4,000 plus PSI. And Cat claims 103 hydraulic horsepower. So I'm really hoping the JCB is taking note and is aiming for those numbers, if not better. They really need to come out strong on the hydraulics. This has a hydraulic horsepower of 64. I would like to see, again, and like an 80%, not quite double, we don't need a double, but like to see like an 80% improvement. That would be around that 105, 110 hydraulic horsepower number. Hopefully they can pull it off. We shall see. The ROC on the Caterpillar is about 4,500 pounds of that 285. Again, JCB's always been strong on lifting capacity, and I think we're going to see all of that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the 4TS can eat up the Caterpillar on the lifting capacity. Same thing with the 620 case. So that's what we're looking at, is we're going to see this new machine that's going to run with the Cat 285. Run with the Case 620, run with the hydraulic capability that's strong on the Takeuchi. Basically, to recap, I think that we're going to hopefully have a fantastic machine. It's going to be pricey, gentlemen. It is going to, the 3TS already goes for $110,000 at least, depending on what part of the country you're in. This is probably going to be a $140,000 machine. It is not cheap. But what are you getting? You're getting more horsepower, a lot more pushing. I mean, again, we're talking top tier weight and pushing power out of this thing. Hydraulics that are hopefully competitive in the realm of the 110 horse machines. And again, what JCB is known for, that is industry standard for them, but they have no competition on. Side door entry, game changer. I can't live without that. So easy in and out of the machine. Obviously, not even talking about the safety factor on that. And the biggest thing, the one-armed machine, yeah, there's the lamb track, so there is some competition there, except for the fact it is the only machine that booms out. And that, if you're doing a lot of utility work, a lot of utility forklift work, specialty material handling, trying to pour gravels and different materials on job sites, precision in different spots, over walls. I've heard all kinds of stories of guys where they put it to work my application orchard work. You think, well, what the heck would you need that for? Man, I can reach out and pluck a tree out of the ground and keep that tree, instead of the tree and the scaffolds right up against the glass, they're out here away from the cab, away from the glass, away from scratching up the machine. More safety of a trunk coming up and whacking the front of the cab, all that stuff. Big benefit for me in the orchard, having that teleskid feature. So that's what we're going to see. Stay tuned. Wait for its release. That will be here in 2025, somewhere between summer and fall. Get with your local JCB dealer. Ask your salesman. They might have some information. If they don't yet, they will soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Hey, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Tell me what you think. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. What do you think about the 4TS? What do you think of the 3TS, by all means? We'll see you on the next one. Thank you.